So this isn't how I was expecting to make a video, I'm gonna be honest. My original plan was to upload my reaction to the 2.0 live stream and also just like talk about it in general terms, but I kind of didn't want to do that. Partly because I feel like that would be more time and effort than it's worth on my end, but also because I don't think the internet needs the like 7,000 video on why the anniversary rewards are good, or why the LM buff is a really good sign, or why Season 2 is gonna be a banger patch. I don't think the internet needs the 7 billionth video on that, basically. That's where I'm at right now. But I still wanted to talk about it. There's a lot of things coming in this patch that I'm incredibly excited for. I wrote myself an entire script beforehand that I was gonna use to try to like make a sort of general discussions video, but that didn't work out either. I realized I'm not very good at writing scripts. So what we're doing right now is just my ADHD riddled brain rambling about the things that I particularly liked about the patch. I'm still gonna pull up the script because I wrote down a lot of things there, and I do want to mention a lot of those. Okay, so first off, of course, new season, new playable area. That's already just kind of amazing. Just from what we've seen in the live stream, Wi-Fi Peninsula looks really big. Like it's definitely, I think, gonna be one of the like bigger city zones. It's probably gonna be a little bigger than Luminous Square. And it also looks like there's like just a lot of things to do, period. There's just like a lot of shops. And I kinda like that. I like that the like random play just kind of operates from this like little street parlor thing. it's so funny just see like Bangbu 20 sitting there with the little laptop. It's adorable. And then the new fortune reading dog, I forget his name, I'm gonna put it up, but yeah, I like how they're like trying to revamp this sort of, you know, daily system that's typically present in gachas. I like what they're trying to do. Just in general, it's a really nice looking area. I think the things they want to introduce with this like management system and, you know, exploring the aerospace city, that's all good steps in the right direction in my opinion. I'm still slightly mad that TV mode is not coming back, of course. I was one of the very few people apparently who liked TV mode. I do think the implementation was spotty, but I also don't think it warranted the amount of hate that it got. But whatever, what do I know, of course. But yeah, I'm overall very, very excited for what's coming for Season 2. The new story stuff looks really interesting. Yixuan is, you know, as much as I have issues with her design, which are very glaring, she does look like a cool character. Her playstyle is interesting. She's introducing a new specialty into the game with a rupture. I'm definitely interested to see how that's gonna like shake up the meta, because right now things are a little interesting. And even when, you know, endgame is catered towards attack agents, like right now with Hugo, Anomaly still kind of overpowers attack agents in a lot of instances. They tried to like kind of hotfix that with the release of Astra, because she also buffs crit, but then the 1200 attack is, you know, that benefits virtually everyone right now. So it wasn't so much of a solution as much as it was a band-aid fix, but the band-aid was made of paper. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what this new rupture specialty is gonna bring to the table. I myself am not going to get Yixuan, which is some people probably think that's weird because I am also a massive Penguin who that's no secret. I love that fucking panda. Like, it kind of seems counterintuitive to pull for an incredibly niche support character without getting the flagship DPS of the version, who would immensely benefit from him. But I just don't really want Yishuan. My number one, how do I say this? Like, my golden rule with the live service gacha games is just get whoever the hell you want and make them work. Like, that's the way I approach these live service games is just get who you want. You shouldn't stress yourself out too much with endgame content. I feel like Zenless is a really good mix of casual and, for lack of a better word, sweaty endgame content. Like, zzzero is still there, there's a ton of rewards to be gotten out of that. Shiryu Defense, a lot of the earlier nodes are still, like, simple enough. I think up to node 5 it's definitely very doable, and like, you're not missing out on too much if you can do 6 and 7 at S rank. Like, what, you're gonna miss 80 polychromes? I don't think that's much of an issue. Anyway, holy shit, I started rambling. The aerospace city, the whole hollow exploration thing that's coming, I'm really excited for it. They kind of demoed this in the Wasteland exploration event thing that happened in 1.4, if any of you were around for that. And, you know, I liked it. It was a little bit tedious, but you know, they were just like experimenting with things, and I think we're gonna see some of those mechanics making a return. Sorry, I'm having a hard time thinking right now. I also have the Expedition 33 soundtrack going in the background for myself to get myself to talk a little more. I cannot do things in silence, like, as I've said, ADHD, I need some kind of stimulation to do things. It's so bad. I also have coffee with me, so, you know, just to really complete the, aesthetic, you know? But yeah, I'm very excited, and as I said, probably not gonna specifically go for Yishuan. I do want Jufufu. That would be the third fire stunner on my account. I am aware of that. But I don't know, something tells me she might work with Penguin, who I don't know necessarily. But with the Pen's vulnerability debuff needing either Rupture or a Yunquei Summit character, it's kind of looking like I might have to get Jufufu. Which, I mean, I'm fine with. I think she's adorable. I really like the little, like, popcorn pouch she carries around. It's really funny. And, like, I just like the characters a lot. But that's the thing that Zenless has been very good at. Maybe not at designs always, but they're very good at characterization, if nothing else. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the events now. I like the whole opening Gravity Cinema up because it felt a little weird having it there, kind of like how the massage parlor is still just kind of there, but it's not really doing anything. It's just kind of there for some trust events. But yeah, I like the idea of it. I'm not sure why it's giving an A-rank defense engine and not an A-rank rupture engine. That's you're gonna have to see the stats on that one. But the mecha fighting event, I think, is a interesting thing to want to include, because it tells me that they might be testing out some stuff for Seed. Because, like, to me, the way it looked is that you can, like, customize the little mecha's, like, skill set. So they're probably gonna borrow a couple ideas from there and give that to Seed when he comes out. But we're, you know, just gonna have to see. Drop rate boosting events are always nice. But, you know, 3 times 0 is to 0. You're still gonna get shitty discs. It's the one thing they never tell you. But yeah, there's a ton of events coming in 2.0. I am very, very happy with that. The HellsiteZero expansion I'm also very neurodivergent about. HellsiteZero has always just been like a really good game mode, especially recently. I do wonder how they're gonna shake things up this time around. I mean, we've seen some of the things. We're getting a new boss. We fucking love these things. Are so shit. There's just a lot of cool stuff in there. And I mean, it's HellsiteZero, so we're gonna get a ton of rewards out of it. That's always fun. And there was this like golden proxy award ceremony thing. I think that's just gonna be like our year-in review kind of event. You know, like some of these live service games have this, have these events, usually web events, but it looks like Zenless is doing it just like as a regular event with rewards. We're going to get essentially just like a roundup of the things that we've accomplished in the year, like the first year of the game. Like, you know, who your most used characters were, I don't know, what kind of ramen you got the most at General Chops, those sorts of things. You know, just going from my experience with previous Play-Doh games. But yeah, also with this event, I'm happy to be seeing Fairy again, because it feels like she hasn't really been a part of the story. Like, we haven't really seen her do much. You know? Like, she barely popped up for the epilogue. And they were setting up these AIs to be, like, important. So, you know, that's... I hope they do something with that. Okay, next, what do I think of the anniversary awards? I mean, no, I said the internet doesn't need the billionth video talking about why the anniversary awards are good, but they are good. They are definitely a lot better than other Hoyo games. First anniversary rewards. The first Genshin anniversary was notoriously bad. Starro was pretty decent. I was there for that one. That one was like alright. It was fun. There was like a little board game event with it that was nice. But yeah, Zenless, the standard S rank character and standard S rank engine. That's like, as the dev said, that's specifically really good for new players. If they have a specific character that they want, they can just like get them. Personally, I'm going to, of course, use it to further work towards M6ing my Lycon and finally getting Rena's signature. That would be really nice. Those are the two characters that I would like to invest in the most out of the standard characters. Also maybe Grace, but yeah. I do kind of just want to use everyone on my account, but with these games, that generally takes a while. You know, that's how they keep you coming back. Also, the thing I got the most excited about in the entire patch was the whole thing about Ellen getting buffed, because that is like, that generally just spells a lot of good things for the game. It also just, like, I understand we're talking about a $1 billion company, but when they were talking about how Ellen being the first limited launch character was like this sort of special milestone for them, and I don't know, it kind of made me happy. I definitely felt a lot more justified in getting her. I'll tell you that. No, just off of visuals, we know a handful of things that are gonna go into her kit. Like, from things that were in the live, her core passive is now being extended to almost every single one of her moves that does ice damage, except for the EX special. And her additional ability can now be activated with stun characters. The Icy Blade attack has been incorporated into her kit, like her base kit. Her Icy Blade from HellsiteZero is in her base kit. Her like scissor charge attack thing can now parry, and it like seems to lead into this, like, I don't even know what to call the move. I'm gonna put it up on screen, but it's like a really I don't even know how to describe it genuinely. Like, she kind of just does this weird, like, spin tornado thing. I don't know, it's really cool. And it also seems to lead into her basic attack 3. Now, this is the one I mostly wanted to talk about because depending on how they handle buffing Ellen, it's gonna, like, that's gonna set the precedent for how future characters are getting buffed and to what capacity. Because if they're just lifting the whole Icy Blade attack as it is in Hollow Zero, just putting that into her kit, that's gonna be insane. Like, that would instantly push her up to like tier 1, or I don't really like talking about tier lists, that sort of stuff, but like that would push her to like tier 1, tier 0.5 territory definitely, because if you're not familiar or you just don't really pay much attention to Hollow Zero, her Icy Blade attack has a 30% defense shred attached to it and a stacking crit damage buff. The crit damage is whatever, it's the 30% defense shred that's a little bit insane. Because that kind of shifts your approach to how you want to build her, right? Well, not how you want to build her, but, well, kind of to that as well, yeah. Because having that 30% def shred instantly makes Nicole one of her best supports, like way better than she already was, which is saying a lot because Nicole's an insanely good support. But then it would also make Hugo's signature her new best in slot engine, and like with that, she could potentially, like with all these defense shred effects combined together, she could have up to 95% defense shred. I cannot stress to you enough how insane that is. Like, just straight up ignoring 95% of the enemy's defense, that's insane. Which is why I don't think they're going to do that. It's a sad reality, but that would make her just a little too insane in my opinion. And it also doesn't seem very realistic to take this character who's kind of been shafted almost after her release and just immediately wanting to put her in tier 0.5 category. That feels a little weird. So I think either they're going to lift the kit as it is but with way reduced defense shred multipliers, or they're only gonna lift the additional crit damage, or they're just gonna put the move in and nothing else, which I think is the more likely option, which does feel a little bad. I mean, it does make her kit feel nicer to play, and it also just does a lot of damage, but it's also, a little bit meh. That you just take the move without any of the buff effects, just throw that into her kit. It's kind of weird. But it's fine, honestly. But yeah, another thing that I wanted to touch on is that I apparently surpassed 100 subscribers. What is that about? Like, oh, I'm sorry, 110 now. Oh my god. What is going on here anymore? I'm not okay. But yeah, I did want to touch on where this channel could potentially be going, because currently I'm only doing Zenless. Like, I did try to branch out like twice. I tried doing Fields of Mystria, that got cut off really quickly because I'm not good at commentating. And then I also tried doing Wuthering Waves, which I realized is not gonna work because I can't handle more than 2 live service games at the same time, and also Wuthering Waves is it doesn't really stick with me as much as Zenless. It's really just a preference thing. Please don't try to start drama out of that. But yeah, it's just insane to me that we're here in less than like a bit over 2 months into this channel just like kind of existing. Like, it's kind of funny, I'm kind of just here doing my thing, posting shit, and people apparently like it enough to stick around. Like that's just kind of an honor that you think that my content is like worth that. It's kind of, yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, it's like now it's about to be like 2.5 months that I have this channel. It could just be I don't want to get sentimental, but like that's like just putting that into perspective for myself. That's a little insane that 110 people decided that they like what I do and have just like subscribed and have been like around. That's kind of insane. And like, of course I don't want to get parasocial about it either, because that's fucking weird. But like genuinely, I'm just really thankful that we're here together. And I do want to try this branching out thing again, but maybe a little bit more, how do I put this? Like still branching out from what I usually do, which is just endgame clears, but in a way that feels a little more natural to me. Like right now I'm doing all this talking and it doesn't really even register to me, but it's because I'm talking about something I like, Zenless. Like I have almost been playing this game every single day since launch. I took 1-2 week break before I think either 1.4 or 1.5 came out, because I just, I was at that point where I was just like kind of hitting my limit and I needed a break. But yeah, I've been just chugging along like since then, just every single day playing this game. The thing is, this game doesn't feel like a chore in the same way a lot of other live service games do. And I'm kind of just, I don't know why my brain decided to hyperfixate on this specifically. But I'm glad that it did, because it's just been really fun. Like, it's just genuinely one of my favorite games. Like, not ever, but it's like one of them. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just, in terms of branching out, I think what I'm just gonna do is just like try to do more story-oriented content as well, and like do other stuff that's not just endgame. Endgame is still gonna be like the main thing that I do for a while, but I would like to do other things. And as I get more comfortable with things, I'm gonna try to do other games. I might bring more friends along, because I've had Pine on the channel now for 2 of my pull videos, and I just like hanging out with them. Like, they're always just nice to be with. I might try to persuade some of my other friends to come and join me on a few of these. One game that I would actually really like to do videos on at some point is actually Expedition 33. I'm still not quite done with it. I'm like nearing the end of it. And I think I might want to do like videos on me doing New Game Plus. But like we're gonna have to wait with that a little bit. But yeah, overall I'm really happy with how things are going. This is like one of the better things that have happened to me ever since I'm done with college. This is just nice. As I'm doing these, I'm starting to get a little less, maybe not a little less awkward, but like I'm stringing a sentence together by myself for once, and that's, considering the kind of things I was doing in my first video where I talked, I think that's a substantial improvement. But yeah, that's about all I had to say. Just a couple of things before I close it out here. I do have other social media presence. I have a Twitter account. If you for some reason want to follow me on that hellsite, I will put up my handle. I will just warn you, I am a 20-year-old gay man. I will be posting about a lot of men. And some potential discussions about Zenless leaks, if don't like that. The thing is, I'm weirdly inconsistent with how I talk about leaks. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, and it's just kind of like, and like a lot of people I follow talk about leaks a lot, and sometimes I chime in, and sometimes I just like, But yeah, that's one thing. Another thing is I have a Ko-Fi, which has existed for a long time. I didn't make it just because of this. I tried to do. I'm still doing art, of course, but no, hasn't really worked. But I mean, hey, if you want to support me for as little as $3 per coffee, there's your option. YouTube memberships are memberships are far away still. I think it's attainable, but it's far away still. So if for whatever reason you're compelled to financially support me, of all people, that's an option. Oh, and another thing, actually, you should totally go and subscribe to my friend Pine's channel. They're currently grinding their ass off trying to get lighter because they accidentally pulled Hugo. So, go show them some love. But, yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to touch on. That's everything I wanted to mention. So, goodbye. I'll see you in, like, I don't know what video I'll make next, but I'll see you then. I think.